Gentlemen of the press, it has become necessary to make the position of the government and people of Benue State abundantly clear on the Ruga settlements for herdsmen being implemented by the federal government across the states, including Benue. A few weeks ago, the Director of Federal Ministry of Agriculture, with his team in Benue State, informed officials of the State Ministry of Agriculture that he had received directives from the ministry's headquarters, Abuja, to establish Ruga, which means Fulani settlements in parts of Benue State. The director stated that the local government areas selected for the Ruga settlements were Otupo, Taka, and Ukum. The Permanent Secretary, Benue State Ministry of Agriculture, drew the attention of the director and his team to the Open Grazing Prohibition and Ranches Establishment Law 2017 being implemented in the state. When they were also reminded about the Land Use Act, which confers on the governor the powers to administer lands in all parts of the state, officials of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture left with a promise to relay the message to their headquarters. They surprisingly returned a few days later with contractors to commence work on the Ruga settlements. We find the approach of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture not only as a gross violation of the ranching law, but also as an insult to the sensibilities of the entire Benue people. It could be recalled that the people and government of Benue State rejected cattle colonies and still reject the policy in whichever robes it is disguised. Governor Samuel Ortom made the stand of Benue State known during the unveiling of the Livestock Development Program in Abuja last year. He stressed that Benue State would embrace the policy only if it supports implementation of the Open Grazing Prohibition and Ranches Establishment Law 2017. The governor also insisted that Benue State has no land for open grazing of cattle, and he restated that ranching is a lasting solution to the incessant herders and farmers crisis, which the country ought to embrace. Governor Ortom made similar presentations at different fora to buttress why open grazing of livestock is not feasible in a densely populated country with over 200 million people. During the National Council on Agriculture Summit, which took place in Owerri, Imo State, in April this year, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture attempted to impose Ruga settlements or Ruga settlement patterns on the states, but the Benue delegation seized the opportunity to remind the summit that Benue State has a law on ranching, which has phased out open grazing. No one at the summit put forth an alternative method of animal husbandry to counter the state's presentation. It could also be recalled that the National Economic Council, NEC, had also unanimously adopted ranching as the best method of livestock breeding for the country. It is therefore shocking to see the federal government turning around to establish Fulani herdsmen settlements in some states, including Benue, contrary to the position of NEC. We wish to remind those pushing for Ruga settlements that the Constitution of the country gives states the right to make laws for the governance of their people. Any attempt to subvert such right is a direct attack on the Constitution. Those behind such a move are clearly enemies of peace and progress. The government of Benue State is willing to support cattle owners to establish ranches as stipulated by the law prohibiting open grazing. We, however, wish to reiterate that Benue State has no land for grazing reserves, grazing routes, cattle colonies, or rural settlements. The state only has land for the establishment of ranches. I thank you very much.